welcome to the Pillow Talk Lounge. I'm your host, Miss Kia, and to my right are my three beautiful co-hosts.
Hey y'all, I'm B.
Hey, it's J Lew.
What's up, everybody? Tiara the Diva.
And we have a great show for you guys today. So, ladies, I have some things that I want to discuss with you. First of all, I want to know if you guys would date men with kids.
Well, before, like in my 20s, no. When I was in my 20s, early 20s, I wouldn't. Only because at the time, I always felt that if I meet somebody and marry and have kids, I want that to be our first experience together. You know, but now, at this age, at 33, 34, it's rare that you'll probably find a guy with no kids. Not saying they're not out there, but I am open to, and I will date a guy with kids now. I would.
Well,
So when I turned 21, I met a guy and he had a kid. And he had full custody of his kids. Mm-hmm. So that's something even different, you know.
That's not normal.
It's not.
Normally the woman has
It's not normal for a man to normally have full custody of this child. But it was different, I would say. It was really different because, you know, you get attached to the child more quickly than you would if he only had the child like on certain weekends. Mm-hmm. But when he has to be dad and mom 24/7, you kind of get attached quicker because if you want to spend time with him, you got to see that kid too, because he's always with them. So, I mean, I've dated men with kids throughout my dating lifestyle. And at the age I am, I wish I could find a man with no kids because I'm just so accustomed to dealing with men with kids.
I would say no. I don't want to date a person with kids, whether I was in my 20s, 30s, 40s, or 50s. But I'm a little selfish in that if I had a child, I would want the guy to still want to date me. If I had a child.
So why do you feel that you're selfish in it?
Only because I feel like when men, and Nakia and I always talk about this, so I just kind of feel like when men have kids and you go into that relationship, you have to deal with the baby mothers or the ex-wife, and I feel like sometimes if they're not over that person, it's so much drama. It's very hard to, you know, co-parent, or it's very hard for the person to see their child. However, with, you know, women having kids and men kind of meeting the woman with kids, a lot of, like, guys in general are just so chill. There are a few that are the exception to the rule that are crazy and make things a little more difficult, but a lot of times men are very chill, and once you move on, they kind of moved on too. So as long as the person that you're dating is not only treating you right, but treating your kids, you know, right, they're okay with it. So I think it's a lot easier to date a woman with kids versus going into a relationship with a guy, because a lot of times their previous relationships, they're not over them. So it just makes it a lot more trauma filled. So me, no. You got kids, I'm like looking the other way completely.
Well, I only been in 4 relationships that were really serious, and all of them besides my husband had kids. So the first one, I was with him for 8 years. He had a daughter. I started dating him when I was about 18, and I became so attached to her. But because I had issues with the mom, then I had issues eventually down the line with the dad. Once we broke up, I wasn't able to see her anymore, and I mean, it hurt, you know what I mean? Because I knew her since she was like 2 years old. And then it's like, how can you have a relationship with the child if you don't want nothing to do with the father, and you definitely don't, you know, have one with the mom? So it's kind of like, what can you do? You know what I mean?
The only thing about that is, depending on how old the child is, if they have a cell phone, you know, maybe again, it just depends on maturity, how okay the mom is with you reaching out. But it really is hard I haven't been in this situation. My husband did not have any kids when thank you Jesus, when we met. But you know, I would still try to find a way to communicate with that child that I'm attached to, because it's hard to just break away. You spend money on that child, you spend time, you treat them like your own. You know, you care about them, you care for their well-being, their safety. So, I mean, if they had like a cell phone or I don't know, something, I would just try to still reach out in some kind of way if I was able to.
Well, with that being said, now you're with someone, you're in a relationship. Neither one of you guys had kids. You have kids, you're in a relationship, things don't work out, and you break up. So I actually was on Facebook just scrolling through social media, and I had seen this post. Mm-hmm. So the post had said, when it comes to child support, y'all not together, how are your feelings about child support? So the post had said, child support is for absent fathers, not failed relationships. So what are your thoughts when it comes to child support? What are your thoughts on that?
I just know that I dated two guys. I was in a serious relationship with both of them. And once the baby mama found out about me and was able to physically see me with, you know, the guy that I was talking to, both of them put their exes on child support. Like right away, it happened. As soon as they found out about me. So, for your post, I agree with it. It's not about absent fathers. They can be really, really good fathers doing everything they need to do for their child, but because the woman's not over them or they're jealous, they just put them on, you know, child support, which I don't agree with.
I totally disagree.
Great question.
I believe child support is for both. I believe it's for absent fathers, and what was the other?
No, it said it should be for absent fathers, not failed relationships.
Okay, so I believe that it is for absent fathers and failed relationships. So I feel like child support is not something that's done out of being vindictive, or it shouldn't be done out of being vindictive and all that. I think it should be done as a consistent form or way to receive money through a streamlined process for you to take care of your child. That's what it should be for. I feel like whether it's a failed relationship or an absentee father, that's kind of the purpose, right? You know, and so unfortunately it doesn't work out that way. And sometimes you have great fathers who you don't need to go down the child support route. You come up with your own agreement, your own situation, your own arrangement outside of that. But I do believe child support is not only for absentee fathers. I do think it should be for both.
So what if you put this man on child support and he was doing way more for the child prior to him getting on child support, and now you're only collecting a little bit of money?
Why would you stop though? That's the part that, so I struggle with this for my own personal reasons, but I don't understand what the difference is. If I'm dating a guy and we live in the same house, you're spending money on the rent, the insurance for the child, or the mortgage, your car insurance, your gas to take the kids to and from whatever, tuition if your kids go to private school, lunch money, clothing. I mean, there's a ton of stuff that you are doing while you're living in the home with your wife or the person you're dating. Mm-hmm. So if we break up and we decide that we are no longer together, and I put you on child support, and your child support, let's just say, is $500 every month, hypothetically, why? If you're doing more than $500 a month, why would you stop? It's still your child, one. Two, when you were living in the house, you were still.
But what if y'all weren't living together?
Yeah, okay, fine. You weren't living together, but you still know the expenses that your child utilizes. Like, you still know if your child is in extracurricular activities. You still know that your child is maybe on my health insurance. So why wouldn't you contribute to that? I don't know. I just think that is.
This is coming from a mom, guys. So let's just put out there.
I mean, a lot of
we don't have children, and Vanessa is the one with the children, so she may have a different perspective than us.
Listen, I am really passionate about that. I feel like regardless of whether you paying a certain amount, you should still do more. If I need something outside of your regular amount, you should help. You should be
what about
okay with
for
that.
the moms who are not even using the child support on the kids? Like, it's just to have free money because they don't want to work, or they don't want to, take care of their kids in the way that they're supposed to, and they're just using money for themselves.
I mean, my whole thing is, once you give somebody money, whether it's child support or just anybody money, you can't dictate how they use it, period. However, if the child is residing with me, I'm using my own money to do various things for our child. So if you give me money and I'm not directly using it to buy the kids' clothes, but I'm using it maybe to, I don't know, buy a new car, hypothetically, it's still a vehicle that I'm using to get your child around. So I just kind of feel like you can't dictate how a person spends the money, but you do know that it is going toward your household expenses to help with facilitating the care of your child. That's just my personal opinion.
Well, when I reposted this post, I had a lot of people comment, and I had someone even say like no offense, but I shouldn't have an opinion because I don't have kids. But I feel as though, like, regardless me not having kids, I should still be able to voice my opinion on it. And I feel as though if the two people have a actual agreement to working things out, or mature enough to sit there and work this out, because if he is a good father, we not together, I'm not gonna be bitter. And if he's been there and in their lives doing what he had to do, going to sports games, going to other events, extracurricular activities, if you've been doing the same thing, I'm not going to put you on child support. Like, one of my other best friends, you know, her and the father of her child, they are not together, and she never put him on child support, well, at least to my knowledge, you know, because he's always still been in his children's life. And I don't know, I feel like it could be 50-50. Now, what if you saying that most of the time when people break up, the child is with the mother? The child is with the mother, am I right? For the most part. Now, but what if it's 50-50? He got his own apartment now. What if it's 50-50? What if you splitting it the weeks? It's 7 days out the week, but what if you're splitting it 3.5 days? It's 50-50.
Yeah.
So why can't I put you on child support? Why can't the man put the woman on child support? How would you feel if he put you on child support? If it's 50-50, how would you feel if he put you on child support? Then what? Would you feel some type of way? Would you feel some type of way that y'all have? Like I said, it's 50-50.
If it does happen.
Well, how would you feel if he put you on child support?
It may not be common, but it does happen.
What are your thoughts if he put you on child support?
So the medical insurance, who's paying for that?
Crickets.
I understand what you're saying, and I don't disagree. I'm just trying to figure out a way, or who has custody. Is it joint custody?
Yeah, like I'm saying, it's joint custody. It's 50-50.
Even with joint custody, sometimes the father has to still pay child support.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So that's, I'm trying to figure out who does, slightly.
So he can't put her on
more.
And how do you feel like when the child turns 18?
Put a woman on child support. He just
Like,
has to have
once the child turns 18, like, the child support is no longer
They need to be
there.
on
How do you feel about that? And the child still is going to college. They still have needs and stuff like that.
But you know that the cutoff age in certain states is 18 years old.
That's what she's saying.
So his, you gotta send a child to school, you gotta send him to college.
Yeah, but it's no more child support, so it's not, making him pay.
And child support is probably a fraction, not even, of what college costs.
Right.
So that's my point. Like, if you're allocated a certain amount of money monthly by a court system, why wouldn't you pay more, knowing that at some point your child is going to college? If anything, put some money aside. Open up, some sort of.
But sometimes a man in their position, they may not be able to always do that. That's the only issue.
Then stop having kids. So I'm in a situation where my oldest son is with a previous relationship, and sometimes, although I believe child support is for absentee fathers and failed relationships, I have never put my oldest son's dad on child support, because sometimes I feel like child support, it just takes longer to streamline through the process, and sometimes when you get the courts involved, it does complicate things. It does make things more harder, instead of me just having a direct communication with my son's father, saying, hey, I need this week, or hey, this is coming up, and DJ requires this. And so it's easier versus you having to go through this long, drawn-out court system. You guys send it to the court, then you only get it once a month, so if you need it right away, you don't get it right away. It's a longer process. So I have never put my son's oldest son's dad on child support.
That's good.
You know,
and honestly, I thought about that. Like, if, as a woman in society today, if I was to get pregnant today or tomorrow, and the man did not want to be in the child's life, it's kind of like, do I allow him to be a dad? Of course, I'm gonna allow him to be a dad, but it's your decision whether you want to be a dad. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna force you to be there for your child. I'm gonna let you know, but at the end of the day, I think I'm setting my career where it's like, I got people that we can do this together. Like, my family is very supportive.
You know?
Exactly.
And also too, when you go through the court system, you think that you're gonna get X amount of dollars, and sometimes the court system ends up working totally against you, and you get way less than you even bargained for. So sometimes, one, it's good to keep the courts out of it, and two,
agreed.
Well, isn't it by how much they make? Isn't it by how much?
But people manipulate that all the time. So even if they're making X amount of dollars, they might not include some income, or they just manipulate that all the time. And to piggyback off of what you said, I kind of feel like when you have a child, like when I was younger, I used to hound the father. You know, why you ain't doing this? Why you haven't done this? Well, you haven't helped me with this. But man, as you start getting older, one, you don't got the patience, and
all
two,
the time.
Your child sees it, so you don't even have to say anything. They start to sense and feel everything. If you're not present, if you're not around, they ask you about it. Then you start realizing they have such a nonchalant attitude, they don't even care. So I don't really have to do anything anymore. And so for me, I'm like, well, you know, the child will see it. I don't have to say anything, but I won't talk bad about I will never do that, because they end up talking bad about it to whomever, because they noticed it. So
that's one thing I don't like. I don't like seeing mothers talk bad about their kid's father in front of the kids, to the kids, or like just talking to somebody else in front of the kids. Like, you should never. Don't do that. You have your own personal feelings about it, but not in front of the kids, not to the kids. Let them have any kind of feeling or relationship they're going to have and build with that father. Like, talking negative to them or around them.
I talk negative all goddamn day to the dad himself, but the kids won't know.
You know what I mean? But when I was in a relationship, the mom did that too. So, you know, his daughter would call him, and then she'll say, you know, like, Daddy, why you hate me? Like, stuff like that. And it's even though it was coming from the mom, it still hurts them because it's their child's voice saying it. So I just think that is so wrong.
But you know what? I'm a firm believer in karma.
Yeah,
it always come back threefold. Always.
You gotta pray through that process.
What you and the things that you do in the light will surely come. I mean, what you do in the dark surely will come to light. So I'm a very big believer in karma. Like, if you don't want to be in your child's life, if you don't want to take care of your child, I'm not gonna force you to be a father. I'm not. I'm totally not. But don't be mad if another man steps in my life and wants to be a father to your child. You have no say so in that because you was never there.
Look at Sierra now. Look at her. You know, whatever. Look at that. She prayed, and look at Russ, and he was having pictures and everything. You know, look at her being happy with somebody else playing daddy to her son. You know.
So, what do y'all think about blended families?
I love it.
I think it's like phenomenal where the mother, I don't want to say baby mama, I can't stand that term. I'm gonna say the child's mother is fully open to bringing in like whoever the father is, exactly, and vice versa.
I love it.
You know, we have a friend who is actually going through a similar situation, and when she talks about it, I think it's phenomenal because the mother actually calls her, shows her pictures of her and the ex's daughter and everything like that. But in a way, it's a positive thing because at least you know where your child is. You and the person have a relationship where you can actually call them if that person is ever with your child, you know, without the main parent being with the child. And on top of that, you know, y'all have an understanding. You know, I think it is great that men and women can come together and have a blended family. And it shows the interest with the child that it's loved all around.
That's the mature level. That's the maturity.
And actually, my personal situation is very similar to that. And so I remember, you know, I have 3 children, and my oldest is not with my husband. So, but he's still a dad to.
Absolutely.
He's been in he's been in my oldest son's life since he was, a baby. So, things weren't always smooth between my son's father and myself. It just wasn't always a smooth process after we broke up.
Right.
However, as the years have gone on and he has matured, I have matured. I was married. He got married. It just seems like I believe time heals everything, whether it's hurt, whether it's anger, and we are so tight. Like, believe it or not, I mean, we went from just never talking, me kind of just being so upset with him for various reasons, and now I talk to his wife all the time. She texts me, we text each other. And vice versa. Davon will hit him up, and he'll hit Davon up, and she has 2 kids of her own. So when, my kids, because sometimes Cassidy and DJ will go over there for the summer.
Right.
When they go over there, they are blended with her kids, and it kind of shows you the growth from where we started until now.
And from the bottom.
Now we here.
And it's actually grow,
grow.
And it's a security thing too. Like,
and it just makes you feel more
insecure.
You're not insecure. Absolutely. You're mature.
The comfort level too.
It makes you it's easy to communicate.
Absolutely.
No, I don't want him. He doesn't want me. So his wife doesn't need to feel uncomfortable. My husband doesn't feel uncomfortable. It just makes it easier for things to get done. You know what I mean? His grandmother, who I call, my son's grandmother, DJ's grandmother, who I call my other mother, everybody just kind of gets along. We're all it's a good feeling versus having all of this tension and you can't talk to this wife or this girl. Or you mad at him.
Yeah. So. Do y'all think it's, when it comes to a point where everyone is secure, do you think it's because both parties are in other relationships? As in, if it was just one, like the woman is now with somebody else, but the man is still single. Or the man is now with somebody else and the woman is, do you think, she's not feeling no type of way because you're married? I mean, not just you, but just, in general, like she's not going to feel some type of way, like the father of the child, his new girl is not feeling some type of way, like if you were single. I
just feel like you have to be over the person, bottom line. Once you're over that person, it doesn't matter whether they got into another relationship and you're not in a relationship, or whether you're in a relationship and they're not in a relationship. I just think if I was dating my son's father and I still wanted to be with him, I would be super bitter over the decisions and moves that he makes. However, because I don't want to be with him, it makes it so much easier for him to do whatever he wants to do, because I'm not angry, I'm not bitter, I don't want him, and he doesn't want me, vice versa. I just feel like people have to be over their past situations to fully move on. And sometimes you have the very, very mature person who really, they're not over their ex, but they are still able to co-parent and keep a cool, have a level head. But a lot of people can't. But yeah, for me, I was just over that relationship, so it was easy for me to move on and vice versa.
Well, with the blended families and the dating with the kids, at what point when you're dating somebody, you have kids, did you introduce your kid to the person that you're dating?
I
think that you have to know that y'all are in a serious relationship before you bring your kids around them.
Yeah.
Because if you're just playing or having sex, or you know that it could not go anywhere, then I don't even think that you should even bring your children around them at all. Like, why are you introducing them to your kids?
And my husband would tell you.
Comfortable with that.
At what point did you have them DJ?
It was like a year in.
A year in? Okay.
It was like a year in, and he'll tell you, he was like, she was not playing. Like, you'll hear his voice in the background all day long, but you will not, actually, I'm lying. Davon met DJ, I want to say 7 months in.
Okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't always at the beginning, because I would keep DJ sometimes.
Yeah. So whenever we would go on dates, I'd be like, Kia, can you watch DJ? Or DJ would be with my mom, because I just didn't want. Or I had another girlfriend who DJ, would watch DJ because I was comfortable with them, but I just did not want DJ around anybody new, not knowing where that relationship could go.
How about you? Would you? How long would you
wait? I need to know the mindset of the gentleman first. I mean, I don't have kids, but I think that I need to be in a place with that gentleman to know, like, he's the one, and he's proven to me that he wants to be the one in my life. So he can meet my child.
So what if it's vice versa? Like, if the guy was dating you and you guys were getting serious, and he's the one with the child, but he still hasn't bring his, child.
I would say this. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Would you feel some type of way, or would you?
I'm slightly in that situation now. Like, I'm dating someone. Their child is 5 years old, 5, 6, and until I know that it can be something.
How long y'all been dating?
It's been 2 months. We still getting to know each other. Something steady. We just trying to. We're both still out there dating. Yes, you're dating to me, like I always said, collecting data.
And I'm not. Want to meet the mom and stuff? Then that's probably when you meet the kids.
Yeah, and I'm not thinking about it in that sense. I'm not rushing to that, because when he's ready, that moment will come. However, I would like him, before he does have that conversation where we are, I would like for him to talk to the mother's child first. The child's mother first, to say, like, I'm seeing someone, it's getting serious. I want our daughter.
But how would you know they have that conversation?
Oh no, I would talk to him about that.
Have you talked to him about his relationship with her?
Oh yes, I have. Okay. I have, and they co-parent.
But I get your saying. You're saying, how do you know that conversation happens?
No, that's the style of conversation that I had with him already. Like, I would want to meet her before I meet your daughter, because if I was the mother, I would want to meet the woman you're dating before you introduce her to our child. You know what I'm saying? So I would want him to do the same.
But see, know about me, though. I don't know.
Here's the thing.
I feel like that's a level of respect.
But there's other levels to respect too, because to me that shows that you don't really trust him,
right?
And making the right decision.
I don't feel like you have to with a woman.
I think
not right away.
I do.
Because like I said, if it was me,
but that means
the other way
you don't
around.
trust him with your own child. Why would he bring her around the child that he loves and is protective of? Around somebody just crazy or just anybody.
It doesn't matter. Men have a different judgment. Even
if we're going to get serious, like, of course, I would want to meet the temperament
before your child is around them.
Absolutely.
And it's not saying I don't trust him. Like, of course I would trust him. That's his daughter. But
because honestly, my thing is, y'all relationship can end right then and there. Because
meeting the mother of his child?
Yes, absolutely. Because she may feel some type of way about you after having that meeting with you.
And what if you're not even that type of person and she just like,
exactly.
Because I met somebody.
Okay, well then I know that man is for me. If he gonna go by what she's saying,
let me.
But that's why I was dating somebody with some type of way for you to be around her daughter too.
Do you know she got mad because I didn't stand up to shake her hand and greet her? So later on that day, she called him and said, "What is wrong with your girlfriend? Why couldn't she stand up and meet me and greet me a certain way?"
Girl, who is she?
Now that's already right. Like, I'm meeting Michelle Obama or something. Why I gotta stand up to meet you?
But did he have a problem with that?
No, he didn't have a problem, but it puts a bad perspective, or maybe what she could possibly be saying to the children, or I don't want my kids around her. I didn't really get it.
And then that causes a wedge between him dating you.
Fine. Yeah.
Because my thing is, if he cannot have his child around you, that's going to be a serious problem down the line.
Oh yeah,
for y'all dating.
Exactly. No, I agree with that.
And that's initially because of the meet and greet that you had with the mother. So that's why I say I disagree. Like, if you can't trust that man to make a better judgment of having this person around their child,
scratches all of this.
You said
that's true, but everybody's
mature.
We are mature.
It's about 40 still acting like this. You gotta think about that.
Yeah.
So, for example, on one Love and Hip Hop episode that I was watching, and I really don't.
I'm sorry that we keep referring back to Love and Hip
Hop. Like Stevie J got married to Faith, and then he told his daughter, but Mimi, she was pissed.
Because they had a conversation. So I agree because they both had a conversation. They communicated, said we were going to talk to our child together about you getting married, and you went about yourself. I would have been mad too.
Yeah, I would be mad about it.
You know, because we already had a conversation about
marriage. That's totally different than just meeting that child.
When you're dating.
Exactly. You done went and got a license that says y'all are now one unit. Mm-hmm. That would put a damper on things too. It's like, hold up, you didn't even tell me you were getting married, or we were supposed to talk to our child about this together before you jumped off and did it yourself. That would definitely cause a wedge between it, because that would make me not trust you around our daughter, because you bringing somebody into our life that I'm not cool with until I'm ready to like say, hey, you know, daddy's good.
But then that
blah,
puts
blah,
stipulation from things when it comes to you.
It does. Because it puts the stipulation on your limits. You're limited to the time that you can spend with your child. I mean, as far as the man's concerned. Because then the mother feels some type of way about how you went about doing things. Now, my thing is, during a relationship, you meet the child. Now, you do ask him, like, hey, is your child's mother cool with me, blah, 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 blah. Does she even know about me? And if he say, yeah, okay, cool. But the thing is,
but what if he feels like that's none of her business? I'm not with her no more.
Then I don't want to be. I would kind of push the issue, like, yo, I don't want to do this because I don't want her to feel uncomfortable
about her and what she feel then.
No, because my thing is,
because the thing is, if the child is old enough, the child will go back and tell her mother anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Period.
And we're going to be around each other because once we get into that relationship phase, child has birthdays, the child has this, child has something. We're going to be around each other.
Yeah. Question ends.
Yeah.
But what if you did absolutely nothing to this woman and she just don't want you to be there and she just wants to father there? Like, it's not gonna work. Leave your girl at home.
It's not gonna work.
Yeah, that's not gonna work. That means that she's still feeling. She doesn't accept.
She's gonna make your life a living hell.
Yeah, and that means she still has feelings for him in some way.
Yep. Because at the end of the day,
I didn't do anything to that woman.
Her best power not to let y'all see each other.
Yeah.
Oh, I need you to watch such and such because I got to do X, Y, and Z. Oh, I need to do this because you know, it's going to cause a wedge between you and that person.
Yeah. Right.
So, I mean, all I can say is at the end of the day, when you're dating somebody with kids, you just have to be careful and go and tread lightly when you meet kids. People, because if they do have kids, it's going to be a bit of an issue.
Yeah.
So, we got another topic.
So, thank you guys for tuning in. I know this was a juicy and touchy topic, but of course, like every show, we want to know your opinion and your thoughts.
Yes.
So comment below.
Yes.
And make sure you subscribe to the Pillow Talk Lounge. And
on that note, we'll see you next Thursday.
Yes.
Yes, and don't forget to follow us on Instagram
and Facebook. Yes.
The Pillow Talk Lounge.
All right. Good night.
Good night.
Bye.